And the reason is because if you're going to go to church, you might as well sit so everybody can see you to let you know that you're there. But I sit in the front row, and every time I'm in church, I sit there. Well, recently our church underwent some work on the floors, and they only had pews set up on one side. And it forced me to sit in the back of church. And it made me think that oftentimes we do things consistently, and we look at things from where we are sitting. And I got a totally different experience in church by sitting in the back row. And when you start looking at the issues of domestic violence, first of all, everybody's like, what is he talking about? But when you start thinking about the issues of domestic violence and how we all look at it, we're all really only looking at it from where we sit. Now, in law enforcement, we look at it from one perspective. If you're a victim or know someone, and unfortunately many of us do, who are the victim of violence, we're looking at it from that perspective. Well, the White Ribbon Campaign, and Steve spoke about it earlier, is trying to change that from the men's side. We're trying to get men to look at the issues of domestic violence just a little different. Not to say that those poor victims, and did you hear what happened? We're really looking at it from the perspective of what men can do to change that. So we have a whole White Ribbon Campaign and committee in the Bridgeport region. All of the police chiefs are members. In fact, Pat Rittenauer, the former police chief in Stratford, is still a member. And we're trying to get the word out that men can actually make a difference when it comes to domestic violence. The campaign started in 1991 in Canada after several women were killed after a violent event. And it's in actually 60 countries around the world, and yes, there's one in the Bridgeport area from the Family Justice Center. And the whole idea behind it is just to engage men in the awareness and prevention of domestic violence. So you will see people scattered throughout the audience who have a white ribbon on. It's not just a white ribbon, it's just meant to start that conversation. But I would encourage all of you, if you have men in your lives, or if you pass by men anywhere, men exist in the world, so at some point you're going to see a man during the day. Just look at things just a little differently. Try to get the men in your lives to look at the issue of domestic violence just a little different. And if you're interested in looking at it differently, we certainly could use your help on the White Ribbon Campaign. So thank you again, Deb, for allowing me to speak for a few minutes, and thank you all for attending.
Not so fast. Who's ever participated in the Walk a Mile in Your Shoes in Fairfield, Connecticut? Okay, that was over a cup of coffee 4 years ago. This is year 5 coming up in April. Now, when we opened the Justice Center in April, the chief had a conflict that night because he's very busy. And so some of the chiefs were awarded something, but we knew we had to do something extra special for Chief Gary McNamara in Fairfield, because this was really his idea to gather as many people as we could and walk down the post road in Fairfield on Saturday morning, stop traffic, and many wear red shoes. Some do, some don't. So we decided we needed to do a trophy for Chief McNamara's office that really talks about the red heels that he proudly wears the last 4 years, because real men wear heels. So this is for you, Chief. Long overdue. Thank you, Chief, and thanks to everyone that participates.